see if like what's gonna be the deal with that. But other than that, that's the only current championship I hold. I'm gonna be wrestling for the PPW No Limits Championship this Saturday, so I might be having two actually after that. But for now, just the one.
The No Limits is a singles championship.
Yeah, kind of like the X Division type of belt
Oh,
championship.
okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Do you have what do you think about the wrestlers like the vets who are still in the main promotions? And they do our indie shows. Do you think that's a plus for the indie star, or it might take away from the spotlight a little bit?
And I love it because then they're teaching the newer guys stuff that they should know and passing along their knowledge and kind of like being able to control the locker room so it's not you know sometimes with the newer guys they don't know how to conduct themselves the right way, or they don't really follow the right traditions and you know practices that the veterans uphold and try to teach the younger cats like me, or guys coming up. So that's why I try to be around them in the locker room and learn from them and see how they operate and conduct themselves. And when I'm in the other locker rooms, it rubs off and people they start to see how they're supposed to be. I come to the show with a polo on, nice clothes, dress pants, dress shoes, my Halliburton look all nice, looking presentable. I'm not gonna, you're not gonna see me showing up to a wrestling show looking like, I just got off the couch or something like that. The guys that are younger, they'll see that and they'll start to like do the same thing. And guys, even at the show that we were at Baldwin, New York, when they're like, yeah, man, I remember seeing you over the years and seeing how you developed and grew and became like a locker room leader. It's really cool, and some guys like were giving me props for that, which I thought that was really cool looking at it like that. But I just try to carry myself like the veterans would, and try to make it to where it's just more just old school style.
Now,
Keep the traditions. Yeah.
speaking of locker room leaders, we heard from a lot of wrestlers, independent wrestlers, that there's a lot of cutthroat going on on the scene, and I don't know if it's kind of like what happened over the weekend at All Out. Did you see that pay-per-view with Moxley and Punk?
I didn't get to see it, but I've been hearing a lot about it. There's like a whole.
You heard a lot about it when Punk was living up to his last name, Punk.
I heard something about that myself. I didn't see it. I heard he went off on the locker room the backstage guys back.
Yeah,
it's like he made AEW.
What was
and
it?
he was bad mouthing
Media scrum. That's right. I heard
Kenny Omega. Yeah, Kenny Omega. The
Young Bucks, right? I heard
the Young Bucks.
Yeah, I heard about this too.
What's his name?
Jim
Adam
Cornette,
Page.
Yeah, Jim
I'm
Cornette was
like,
just
yo,
talking
you work with these guys, man. Why are you going off on them? It's because and his boss is sitting right next to him. He's not saying nothing.
Well, maybe he's.
I'm waiting for him to kick him under the table or elbow him or something. Shut the fuck up. But
maybe Punk's not going to be coming around soon.
He's gonna give the Stone Cold Stunner next. Nah, hey man, like who knows what's gonna happen, man? I think eventually, I guess we'll see how it all plans out. Is it on tonight? Is it on tonight? Is the show on AEW on tonight?
It's going to be on tonight, but they suspended the Young Bucks. All right, Punk threw the first punch. They suspended the Young Bucks. Everybody that was in the back, Danielson, Adam Page wasn't there, so he's not suspended. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega got bit.
He got bit for real?
Yeah, he got bit. And that's it. Just 6 people, but not Punk or his manager. Okay, they didn't get suspended. But they're saying by the end of the night, by the end of today, maybe by the time the show starts, he's going to be fired. He's going to be out of the company.
So he's going to show up. He's going to run in like, you know what? You can't fire me. I quit. He's going to run up and.
That's it. Yeah.
He's the type of guy that's going to wind up suing him. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. But well, like I said, we hear a lot of backstabbing going on in independent scenes. And,
Yeah.
you
When
know,
it's wrestling, it's
I
like
mean, from
crabs in a
my
bucket.
point of view, that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, you
Well,
would think like
It shouldn't be
you're going to
happening. But
wrestling. Yeah, it's just a crab in a bucket mentality. Everybody's trying to pull each other down and climb up to the top. When like, yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy, man.
well,
It
do you
shouldn't.
get
It should.
involved in the backstage politics at all, Tim?
Nah, I try to like me personally wrestling's already hard as it is. Like what we put our bodies through, and you try to just work hard and get yourself somewhere. And I try to just stay out of all the stuff backstage. I don't want to have to be involved in people like politicking or bickering. I know there's all the cliques and everything that they all
yeah,
lobby for their friends to get put on shows and everything else. I just try to stand out by working hard and I'll do what I have to do and what I mean, like just show that I'm easy to work with, that I won't get involved in like all that type of drama where that's why a lot of
right,
people would rather work with me because of things like that. And instead of like I don't like to cause problems for anybody. And a lot of guys that do that, you can tell how it happens. And you'll see like
right,
a lot of
yeah,
guys who get their friends booked, they're all booked on all the same shows. And it's like you can see like all the little groups, like who's in with who and whatever. Like I don't
mm-hmm.
really care about that stuff. Like real talent will show for and speak for itself. And that's kind of the way I always looked at it. And I really don't need to like politic or have to do any of that stuff because eventually, like if the people that aren't in control, or the people that are gatekeeping, getting people on certain shows, don't see the talent or like whatever, I know the fans will see it, and the fans will always stick up for me. So
Right.
I don't really, I don't try to play into that type of mentality.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But being that, besides the politics and technically some of the backstabbing around, do you think that the way the indies are and the way the mainstream are, that they're basically following each other in some respects?
Uh, and you can see a lot of stuff like a lot of similarities, but it's like, all right, people getting paid big money and like these WWE and like AWs and like big companies on the indie level. It's like, you know, you're not really making that much, so there's no point to like, like it's just kind of crazy how you're in a Shark Tank environment. Like
Mm,
people are gonna be like all at each other's throats, like regardless. But it's like I'm sure it's like 10 times worse in WWE and like AWs than it would be on the indie level. So you have to look at it like that. Like there's gonna be like a lot of just people at each other's throats regardless. So I tried like at this level, I try I look at it, I see it all you know with my own eyes. I try to just maneuver around it and not be
mm-hmm.
consumed into it because I know eventually, yeah, like at WWE level and all that. Come on, man, people are gonna be for their jobs and like having whatever spot. Like, come on, man, like it's just like any other job out there that people are trying to like just imagine at work somebody that's the tattletale at work just to try and suck up to the boss and get a better spot.
Okay.
Imagine that in wrestling. Like it's gonna be like so
Uh-huh.
much worse.
What about see in AEW? They're actually pushing and opening doors to a lot of indie guys coming into tryouts, even though the dark matches. The
Yes.
WWE doesn't. Do you think, as long as that's going to happen, you think AEW will start to pull away from WWE and start getting more, more of a bigger fan base?
I think that
We just lost it, Tim.
do with the independent guys, yeah, it's cool. They bring a lot of people out. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, you back now.
Can you hear me?
Hello,
Oh, you there? Hello?
hello.
Yeah. Hey,
Hello?
We
Okay,
lost
cool.
him.
Yeah, on the independent level, hey, bring it in. Oh, are you there? Hello? Good? Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Can you
I,
yeah, you
hear
break
me?
up.
you're breaking up,
Can
Tim.
you hear me?
Hello.
Could be the internet. Let me see. Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Gotcha.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, so, yeah, I mean, what were we saying again?
So, being that the AEW
AEW
is
and
getting indie
indie
guys coming in, You
independent
think
wrestling
they're
guys,
gonna
right?
they're gonna start getting more
Um,
popular and more of a
yep,
fan base than WWE is?
yeah. I think WWE fans are always gonna be more like the traditional lifelong fans. Uh, I think AEW fans having the independent wrestlers coming in is gonna be more like you'll have more of the I guess yeah, the indie fans, some of the ones that are more Chikara fans and like Ring of Honor fans, stuff like that. Like the more, I feel like there's like different like independent wrestling fans are a little bit
MLW.
different genre. Yeah, like some of a little different genre. Maybe some MLW fans in there, but they're also all together still ultimately WWE fans at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff they do with bringing in independent guys, if they use them, I guess the way that the independent fans want, then they'll have a little more of that, audience. Other than that, they kind of have more, just like they captured like the Japan fans and stuff like that. The
Yeah,
more,
Mm-hmm.
they got Ring of Honor, they got Japan now, they have Impact guys before, so like
yeah,
they have a more of a they have like I said, the Ring of Honor guys are even coming in now even faster. Now with the Impact, they're still tied in with Impact. WWE doesn't have anything to draw from except guys that they bring in who aren't even from any of these other places.
I think sometimes WWE cherry picks guys from those places though. So like they'll see talent in some of these other places and they'll pick them up. So like this could be like a little breeding ground and like a feeder system to WWE eventually if they see something in them, but they still have to learn the WWE style. They can't just your WWE has a certain style they train for. And when I train with certain places, they'll try to teach you and make you TV ready for what WWE wants. So a lot of times when you learn these other places, it might not work for WWE. So you gotta have more like that type of style as opposed to like the more AEW wants to try to go for more like the indie Ring of Honor, like New Japan style, like of wrestling, where that type of style of matches and just overall like work rate.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And what about
So
your style yourself? When
that's kind of
do you has your style evolved at all? Has it changed at all during your career, or have you pretty much kept it the same?
yeah. Before I used to,
You lost it, Tim.
old school style mentality and how. Oh, can you hear me? Am I still there?
Yeah,
Are you guys
you're
there?
hello.
All right.
We
Sorry.
got it.
Yeah.
We
So
got it now.
yep, I'm here. All right. So yeah, I started off more old school style in the beginning, and then eventually I kind of like progressed into more like that cruiserweight style, like you would see WWE or like luchador, but more cruiserweight, some American. So like cruiserweight style.
Hmm.
So
And as
Now,
go ahead,
do
John.
you are you looking to go international, like to New Japan, if the opportunity came, or AAA in Mexico or something like that?
oh sure, yeah, I love to wrestle AAA in Mexico or New Japan Pro Wrestling or Japan in general. Just some of the places you'd see over there. Um, Wing or like FMW. Like yeah, that'd
Mm-hmm.
be cool. WWE is
FM,
ultimately WWE is where I'd be training to try to get to there, get to WWE, and um,
Oh, okay.
that's like the main goal for me. Just because I grew up on it, it was something that yeah, I watched WWF,
Yeah.
WCW, ECW mostly out here where I'm from. So that
Yeah.
was like that style I grew up on. That's the main goal for me in wrestling. But I
Right.
wrestle other places as well. NWA, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, AEW.
Okay.
I've wrestled for NWA before, NWA Big Apple, like 2017, before Billy Corgan bought it out. So that was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool for me at the time too.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what was it?
Yeah,
He originally was the owner of Impact before. Now he's got
yeah, I heard that
controlling
too. He was
bargaining.
about Impact. That's right. Yeah. Before that, he was in
Mm-hmm.
ECW back in the day too. He was in like there was some little thing they did there. He was in ECW and did some stuff, and I'm trying to remember like what all they had him do, but he was out there. he was out there for that. Um,
Mm.
you know, cool stuff.
Well, back to what I was asking you before about your style of wrestling. In a whole, do you think a wrestler should be able to adapt his style to, or keep it the same? What brought him around?
Man, I've always liked to learn all types of styles. Like, you know, you shouldn't just learn one style. Learn how to be, you know, just learn how to be like kind of like more. How can I say? Yeah, just more versatile. You know, be uh, more knowledgeable, and you know, if you only know how to work one style, it's like you're limited. You know, whereas if you know how to do multiple styles, so you can work with anybody, you can do a lot more. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Bam
What
Bam
about?
Bigelow, he wasn't limited to one style. Bam Bam Bigelow was a big guy, but he can move. You know?
Yeah, true. What about this question here? This is a very big question. What's your opinion on kayfabe?
It's something that I think that should be more, you know, yeah, more respected in business. They should kind of take more initiative on enforcing it for the fans and for the business as a whole, because you know, the fans appreciate it, but it's a lot of what made wrestling, you know, more protected back when it was, you know, back before just anybody could be involved in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Okay. And
So
if the industry kept kayfabe, do you think it would stay the way it is now, or would change like when lost kayfabe?
it's hard to say because you know, look at how WWE is right now. They just let all these celebrities into wrestling and how big it is now. Like, hey man, I guess we're still kind of like
Social
seeing right
media
now.
kills it.
Yeah, but beyond that, like, you know, just a lot of what they did to kind of evolve the business into what it is now. You know, I guess it kind of had to change. They couldn't keep it how it was forever. You know, like at some point, somebody would have been like, "Oh, well, look at that." You know, like it wasn't gonna last forever.
Right.
But
That's
maybe
true.
it helped. Maybe it helped for the better. You know, because
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's hard to say, but it's really it's you know, wrestling's a different animal, a whole different world, you know, than most other entertainment. So, you know,
Hmm. And so basically, kayfabe changed wrestling, or should I say, wrestling changed because of kayfabe, or kayfabe changed, lost because of the way wrestling is now. What do you think?
um, I mean, I know people still kayfabe, but it's like they had to, you know, make like kayfabe be something to change wrestling, you know, because when Vince McMahon just went out and told everybody like that time and he just broke the message out there, you know, they changed wrestling by doing that, and you know, part of it,
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's a little bit more upscale and you know bigger than it's ever been, and you know it's more theatrical, but at times there's also parts that now it's safer because I feel like they, you know, they expose kayfabe to the world. So I mean, it's hard to say, but you know, for the fans, hey, the fans know, you know, it's like, but they still love it. So I mean, just keep kayfabe alive for the fans so they can, you know, continue to love it for what it is and what they enjoy. You know.
Hmm.
That's a big reason why I try to keep
Uh,
kayfabe alive.
Tim, okay, now here's the best part of this is my favorite part of the show. Did anybody tell you about the trivia questions?
Nah.
Okay, before the end of this show, I picked a couple questions for our guest, see if I
All
could
right.
see if I could stump him with any of them.
All
You
right.
ready?
All right. Let's do it.
Who trained Sexton Hardcastle?
Ah man. I don't know, man. That name sounds familiar too, actually.
Edge.
Oh, okay. So
Who trained Edge?
he was one of the he was one of the last survivors of the dungeon, wasn't he? Or was that Chris Jericho? That was Chris
Jericho's.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Jericho.
that was Jericho and Lance Storm. All right. You know
No.
what? Damn, hold on. This one, I think I know this one, but I forget. I remember I
Okay.
watched the DVD. I
All right,
watched the
so
DVD.
Ron Hutchinson and Sweet Daddy Siki.
Yeah, I remember. I heard that one. I have his DVD. I forgot that one.
What was
I mixed
Scott
the record.
Hall's? What was Scott Hall's in his WCW debut? What was his character
Was
name?
that Diamond Stud or was that Big Scott Magnum Hall? That's still
Which
Diamond
one?
Stud, right?
Which one? Which one?
Diamond Stud.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, but but AWA, he's Big Scott Magnum Hall, right? With the mustache.
Actually, he
That
was
was him.
just that was Magnum TA.
No, no, I'm talking about no.
And
That. I thought you were talking
AWA
about.
was Scott Hall, and there was also Magnum TA.
Yeah, but he was Big Scott
Could,
Magnum. Oh, I know Magnum TA, but he was Big Scott Magnum Hall in AWA. Like you can look it up. I tell you, that was him too.
who managed the Great Muta in WCW? You had two of them.
What was his name again? The selfie guy. Fuck. Nah, was he? Damn, no, Sonny Ono. He only managed like the Ultimate Dragon though. I'm trying to remember. Uh, I can't remember, man. I can't remember. I should
Gary
know this.
Hart and Hiro Matsuda.
Shit. Yeah, that would make sense. Uh, I
Name
know.
the original skyscrapers. The original
That's like,
skyscrapers.
was that Psycho Sid and Undertaker, or was that
Close. You're half right.
it was Mark Callis, but like,
No,
no, it
Sid
was
Vicious and Danny Spivey.
Danny Spivey. Damn,
When Vicious left, it was The Undertaker.
that's what it was. All right, yeah, damn.
Here's the last one. This one is a tricky one because this promotion died quick. Name the members of the ICW tag team called the Undertakers. I get everybody with this one. This one, not
Yeah,
nobody knew.
look, this guy, look how old he is. Come on, man.
Hey, now you knew every one of them.
I
That's
couldn't. I don't know
nice.
this
She's
one.
into, she does trivia. She likes trivia.
Name of the group was
Look
called.
how young he is, man.
Name of the group was called the Undertakers, and it was one of them was called Henchman, and the other one was Punisher. Down the line,
Yeah.
when Vince got the Undertaker, he couldn't have another Undertaker group, so he bought the rights to the Undertakers.
Damn.
Well, he's got the money to do it.
Yeah, well, plus ICW went out of business, so
Yeah. Yeah, he's right, John.
Uh,
Big Scott Magnum Hall.
okay.
yeah.
So
Told you that was his
I got to
88.
add that one to my new questions.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, thank you again. You wanted to plug anything?
Yeah, PPW 9th anniversary show this Saturday, Broadsville, Pennsylvania. Check out More Street Movement on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Check out Timothy Theory on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. www.timothytheory.com. And yeah, follow me on there. Make sure you give me a like. Check out the Pro Wrestling Tees store and all that. We got a lot of cool stuff on there. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thank you again, Tim. I hope you enjoyed this little podcast we
Thank you,
did.
Tim.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was awesome, guys. Appreciate it.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
Oh yeah, for sure. You send the link out, and I'll share it on my page so everybody can check it out.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thanks again, Tim. Take care.
Okay.
Anytime.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Later.